Good evening and welcome to Comics Week in Review Movie and TV Edition. My name is Stephen McGauley, and with me as always is Mr. John Gruccio, or my movie specialist, and for TMStash.com. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Stephen.
All right, well, as always, we talk everything movies and TV. It's pretty self-explanatory, and I know it's been a few weeks as our schedules have been super crazy. So lots and lots to talk about, but luckily it gave us a few weeks to see the first two episodes of Gotham, which we talked about on the Comics Week in Review on Sunday a little bit. But how is Gotham shaping up for you, John? It's been awesome for me.
I will have to admit it was hard wrapping my head around the first episode because one, I was never the biggest fan of The Mentalist, which Bruno Heller, who was the creator of that show, is the creator of this one. They've taken a lot of liberties, which I mean is cool because I've seen how some of those have panned out, like Edward Nygma as a CSI check, and then other avenues where with character development, like Jim Gordon doesn't have a mustache. But I mean, stuff like that's cool. I mean, it's different to see different perspectives. I mean, it's good to see different perspectives. For me, I know the one thing I've been excited to see all this time is ever since I saw the animated movie Batman Year One, I've gotten fascinated with the character of Harvey Bullock, who, as you know, is played by Donald Logue in the show, who is one of my favorite all-time supporting actors.
He is awesome.
Yeah. When I saw Batman Year One, in which Bryan Cranston voiced Jim Gordon, I just became fascinated with how corrupt Bullock was and the silver lining that he became after, like, he saw Gordon making all of these. He became to really be Gordon's best friend, even though he was a corrupt cop and saw the error of his ways. And I mean, and this is the first time we've ever seen Donald Logue like in live action. This character in live action.
I think he's been really good as the character. I think it's also hard to compare a live-action television show made by Fox with DC rights versus an animated movie by DC, by comic book creators, essentially, to really push the story forward. Because in my mind, those animated movies are always going to be far better story-wise and much more true to the characters than we're going to get from a sitcom on Fox, which was always kind of my worry with Fox doing a sitcom like this. CW's handled it really, really well in the past so far, going back to Smallville, and I think so far they've done a really good job to. I think that's why they've kind of stayed away from getting involved in just doing a Batman show and doing a show that's going way back and talking about all the villains. Mm-hmm. And probably the most interesting feature that I see with it is adding Jada Pinkett Smith and inserting Fish Mooney. I mean, I think that move alone is interesting, and it kind of sets the tone against what you're talking about. And they're pretty much saying that we're kind of going to do our own thing. Here are all the people that you are aware of and have been aware of throughout the years in the DC and Batman and Gotham universe, but this is our spin on it, and I think that's the whole point of adding the addition of Fish Mooney's character in, to kind of spin it off in a different direction and kind of give them a little bit more freedom to make it more of a TV show than a comic book show, which is, I mean, has its pluses and minuses. So far, I've been happy just because I think the casting has been good. I mean, like you said, Donald Logue is awesome. Ben McKenzie's been awesome. So, what did you think of the Penguin?
I was actually going to interject and say that. You know, I've always been on the side of the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman playing the arms dealer Penguin in a Christopher Nolan movie, but as we all know, just like Johnny Depp playing the Riddler, that just wasn't in the cards.
Yeah. My
With
thing
that being
is
said,
Penguin to
Rob,
me is Danny DeVito and a big fat Danny DeVito. It's not this skinny little white dude. That's the only thing that gets me.
au
Character
contraire,
wise, he nails it though.
I mean he is fantastic. I would say he is probably one of the best casted people on this show, and he's a newcomer too, which just says loads about him. You
Yeah,
know,
who is playing him? I'm even going through
Robin
IMDb.
Lord Taylor.
Yeah,
I remember the first episode. I was like, you know what, this squirmy little man. I mean, he's just so cowardly. And then you see at the end of the first episode, which spoiler alert, um, he is picked up by a group of just jackasses, to be put it blunt.
well, that's the second episode, right?
No, this is at the end of the first one,
Okay.
very end.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
He picked up after walking the road from Gotham, and they happen to make a crack, and we see, like, is this going to be the same cowardly lion? Oh, no, cowardly penguin, I'm sorry. And then he breaks a beer bottle and straight shivs in a guy's neck. I mean, he has got anger issues, man. It is, and
I remember watching and going, oh damn. he just that just happened.
and then, of course, when he gets out of the river, the fisherman, he
Yeah.
sliced him neck from neck. I mean, this is
Just
a guy
for
who,
no reason, just because.
well, he had a sandwich.
Right. For a sandwich.
But I mean, this guy is truly sadistic. And like, we've never seen that side of the penguin. We've always seen the penguin is just nuts.
Yeah.
But I mean, this guy is squirmy. And I mean, from the previews we've seen, he's cowardly. He'll play the cowardly card, but right as soon as you turn your back, like, I showed like a clip where he sliced a guy's arm and then just started stabbing him just repeatedly.
Right. And again, this is one of the good things that has
Yeah.
come of Fox using some, creative liberties
Yeah.
with this title.
But yeah, he's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with by the end of the season. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and as far as casting goes, John Doman as Falcone.
I'm sorry, but Tom Wilkinson is the best one there ever was. I'm sorry.
He's still a good Falcone.
He's for TV. He's about as good as I think they could get.
I mean, I'm sure he was still expensive.
I mean, probably not as expensive as Tom Wilkinson.
Or Jada, yeah, I'm sure Jada Pinkett Smith is collecting.
Yeah, she's not cheap.
So neither is Donald Logue. I mean,
Yeah. Well, Donald Logue's just TV royalty after a while. I mean, Sons of Anarchy, Vikings, Terry.
They apparently. I watched one of the after shows of Sons of Anarchy, and apparently, I can't. The writer for Sons of Anarchy said he has been wanting to get Donald Logue on for years, and they've had scheduling conflicts forever until they got him in last season.
Man, well, I'm not gonna say, but I mean, it was definitely a good season with him on it.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a cool character, even though it's not a character that you necessarily liked. You didn't like at all, actually.
No.
So, but overall, I've been really happy with Gotham. I was really scared as to what Fox was going to do with it, but I think they've got it in a cool, interesting direction, and I think I'm in for the long haul. So I'm actually gonna ride this out. Are you on board still, John, or are you still a little trepid?
It's rare that we're 2 weeks in and I actually keep up with a show. That's usually pretty rare for me. But
Same here.
we've got this. We've got season 3 of Arrow coming next week, along with the series premiere of Flash.
Flash, yes.
And then at the end of this month, the series premiere of Constantine on NBC, which I think me and you have talked. You know, this is a fan favorite of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I've been a lifelong fan of John Constantine. So NBC, I swear, if you cancel this show, I will never watch you again.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm rarely someone who jumps on board right from the get-go on a TV show just because new shows tend to get sent right to cancellation town.
Oh yeah.
So I like to give a buffer to see where the ratings and stuff are going to go before I do anything. But so far, Gotham has held its own in that crazy, crazy, crazy Monday night time slot. Monday nights, my DVR on Monday nights is out of control.
Yeah.
Like, I DVR so I can barely keep up with everything. Like I still haven't watched Sons of Anarchy for this week, which is crazy. Just because I was so trying to keep up with Monday night.
Yeah.
So it's nuts. That whole time slot is crazy, especially since I moved Big Bang Theory back there. That's a whole other topic we could talk about another day. But I liked where you're going with the Flash and the Arrow coming back next week because love Arrow, one of my favorite shows on TV. Not one of the best shows on TV, but just one of my personal favorite shows to watch on TV. It's just entertaining every week for me. There's far better shows like Sons of Anarchy and the likes.
We had a dark ending with season 2. So I mean, it's going to be interesting to see where this goes.
For what, Sons?
No, Arrow.
Oh, yeah. Arrow is crazy. So, I heard Sons had a really dark ending this week, too, and I didn't want you to spoil it. That's why I said that.
I'm not going to. I'm not a spoiler.
I heard it was really... All I got was a weird look from my friend, and he just said, it's crazy. And I was like, okay, that's all I need to know.
I've heard a little bit about it, but I'm not going to say anymore.
So, I'm excited. I'm probably going to watch that as soon as this baseball game's over tonight.
Oh, look, it's Kurt Sutter on my phone.
But moving away a little bit from the TVs, as we talk, there's just so much going on with TV. We'll pick some more shows to talk about next week. But this week, big news and a personal favorite of mine, Zombieland. Looks like it's inching its way forward finally. Getting a writer with David Callahan to write the sequel under supervision of Ruben Fleischer.
Who also
I'm excited this is moving forward. I don't know how I feel about David Callahan writing, considering all he's done in the past is blown stuff up, and I don't know how much stuff they're going to blow. I mean, maybe we're just going to get zombies blown to smithereens for an hour and a half in Zombieland. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure that he has that that balance that they had with the first one with the comedic and crazy give and go of the characters that we had in the first one. It was just so fresh.
Well, Dave Callahan is we were talking about earlier. He's pretty much well known for the Expendables series. Him and both Sylvester Stallone came up with the story for the first one, and I wouldn't say writing, but I mean writing the coattails, but I mean he's pretty much, that's what he's well known for. Ruben Fleischer did the first one, so that's something that's probably good.
He directed the first one. The first one was actually written by Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick,
who also did G.I. Joe Retaliation and will be working on the Deadpool movie.
So excited.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, we can't bring back the original cast. They're knowing that all of those people are just crazy busy, and I doubt they would want to come back. So
I bet they have to bring back Jesse Eisenberg and Woody Harrelson and Emma Stone and Abigail Breslin. You would have to imagine that those four are coming back. There's no way you could do the movie without them.
I don't know. It's too early to tell, though.
I mean, it depends on the direction they take it. I mean, they could pick a few of the characters, maybe, but I don't know that it's half the movie without a Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg. I mean,
Well,
their comedic parts and like their just whole banter in that movie was so funny and so much fun to watch in a this quirky zombie movie. That's why
I,
it's one of my favorites.
I mean, Emma Stone's worked with Fleischer on Zombieland, then she worked with him in Gangster Squad. So I mean, there's obviously a camaraderie there. And I mean, I don't know necessarily Woody Harrelson. I don't know what he's going to do after Hunger Games. So I mean, I don't know. I know Jesse Eisenberg, depending on where his character of Lex Luthor goes in the next Superman movie goes. I really don't know. But I mean, I loved the first one. I remember never laughing so hard that year when I saw Zombieland. I thought I was going to be squeamish because I hate movies that people are just being ripped apart. That's one of the reasons why, as much as I love the George Romero, Night of the Living Dead series, I can't watch them because it's literally people being ripped apart.
Right.
Even Walking Dead, I have some reservations sometimes. But I would I go see it in a heartbeat as long as I knew the story was going to be good.
Yeah, the next big thing is seeing where they go with the cast. So I think with Ruben Fleischer with some oversight, it has some promise. So I'm just glad that it's moving forward and that there's a chance that we're going to get a second movie here because I love the first one so much. So to be determined is where I'm left standing here. But it's good news nonetheless because I'm excited to see where that's going to go. But in more exciting movie news, which we just got posted on our website right before we started the show, John posted the article. We found out who was voicing all the characters in the Angry Birds movie. Now, I wasn't totally looking forward to this movie much for anything. But now that I've heard who the vocal talent is, I am quite intrigued. John, who do we have with the lineup for the vocal talent for Angry Birds?
Well, we have, and I mean this, it's truly remarkable cast we have here. Just a truly remarkable comedic cast. We have as the three leads, hang on one second, and as Steven said that this is now on our website, I highly recommend you go read it, because also the first picture of the film is on there as well.
I will change the link. It's going to be tmstash.com/Angry Birds.
Huh?
I said I changed the link, so the link is tmstash.com/Angry Birds to read the full article.
Okay, sounds like a plan. All right, we have Jason Sudeikis as Red, who is a bird with severe anger issues. Always a good one. Josh Gad of Frozen fame as Chuck, the speedy bird. Danny McBride as the Bomb. His character's just Bomb. He's characterized as being
the bomb.
He's volatile. Maya Rudolph is a character named Matilda. Peter Dinklage as the legendary Mighty Eagle. Bill Hader is also starring in the movie, and it says that he's on the pig side. He's joined the pig side, which could leave us to speculate something about bad piggies. So obviously he'll probably be a villain of some sort. And then we've got Keegan-Michael Key of Key and Peele, Kate McKinnon from SNL, Jillian Bell from Workaholics, and Tony Hale from Arrested Development are all rounding out the cast. No plot or story has been released, but with this impressive list, I'm sure it won't be long until we find out what the story is going to be, and it will be released in theaters on July 1st, 2016, and it will be a 3D film. So you can take. Of
course, how are you going to have flying pigs and flying birds without it being in 3D?
I had my reservations when I heard they were going to do a movie on Angry Birds, but now I have to admit, I don't really go for animated movies, but I'm excited. I'm
in the same boat as you, and I too am excited. I too am very excited. So that's something to look forward to now, even for at least for us big kids.
Yeah. Oh, those
And
looks so
in much
dumb.
more serious, or I should say, thriller news for the movie scene, we got what is now the fourth trailer for Interstellar. Heaven forbid I bet we get a fifth or sixth trailer before he's done, because that's just how Nolan rolls for Interstellar. And again, it's much of the same, a little bit more elaborate. But I'm still excited. Still excited to see this movie. He's been advertising it for the better part of like 5 or 10 years. I can't tell. It's been so long. It feels like ages. But it's really good. The reason it really popped is we got the new trailer today, and we got Nolan announcing that it was actually going to come out 2 days early in IMAX film
November
theaters.
5th.
So those of you who have access to an IMAX theater that may or may not have access to a 70 millimeter film print, you will be able to see it 2 days early.
Woohoo!
So for all of you that had, it's probably going to be the same theaters that had Dark Knight Rises in 70 mil, which luckily there's one here in St. Louis that did it. So I'm hopeful to see it. So I think that's that Wednesday then it comes out. Wednesday. I can't. What's the date on that?
What, the movie?
Yeah,
November 7th.
November 7th. Yeah, so we get it Wednesday, November 5th for those to early access IMAX. I'm excited. It looks really good. Group of explorers make us of a newly discovered wormhole to surpass the limitations on human space travel and conquer the vast distance involved in an interstellar voyage. Much of the trailer will tell you more on a little bit of the character of Matthew McConaughey. But where do you stand on this? Are you still excited for this?
I'm flabbergasted when it comes to this movie. It's like I mean I love Christopher Nolan. I mean I've never been let down. I do fear Matthew McConaughey as a leading man in one of his movies, though. He's not exactly who I picked, but I mean, Nolan obviously knows what he's doing. He's got a great track record. So I mean, if he says that this is going to be a good movie and Matthew McConaughey will make it that way, then I'll believe it. I do
Right.
know that he said at Comic-Con that this is one of the most complex and complicated movies he's ever done. They had physicist Kip Thorne pretty much on the payroll at Warner Brothers, just so they made sure they could get it right. So I mean, I don't know. I think the big question is if this does well, what's next?
Yeah, I agree. But at the same time, you thought the same thing at the end of the Dark Knight trilogy. You're like, okay, where does Nolan go from here? And of course, we're
Yeah,
getting Interstellar. So who knows? He may be setting it up for a sequel, for all we know.
a movie without Michael Caine.
Right.
No, because Michael Caine's awesome.
So still looks awesome even after the trailer. He hasn't. I'm hoping it doesn't. He hasn't spoiled too much in these trailers, but I get worried once we start getting past like 3 trailers for a movie. But still excited. Can't wait to see it. And to kind of keep on the same track as Interstellar and Outer Space, this past week we got the first trailer for Jupiter Ascending, which looks awesome. It almost made me feel how I felt when you're getting the Matrix feel again in 2014. It's like, hey, look, we got tech, and now look what we can do with all this technology. It seems to be what they've decided to do, and my gosh, it looks awesome. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm almost excited for that as I am for Interstellar. It looks that good. What did you think of the trailer?
I mean, it definitely looks good. I mean, I can honestly see the Wachowskis are smart. I mean, pushing it from this past summer to February because obviously I mean, they obviously thought it needed something, and I mean, these new trailers show, that they've done work to it. And I mean, it has an impressive cast with, the likes of Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis, Sean Bean, and Eddie Redmayne. I mean, Cloud Atlas, I mean, their last one was just. I had to watch it like 3 times just because I was just blown away by one, the visuals, and just their ability to tell these stories, which is just, I think, unfathomed. It's unfathomable, and like compared to anybody else. Because they literally create these entire worlds. I mean, I should rephrase myself. Cloud Atlas was a book, but at the same point in time, that's a mega book to, bring to the big screen.
It was a big undertaking.
But I mean, the same thing. Oh yeah.
But I mean, give them any creative freedom, and it's insane. It's insane what they've done with movies. I mean, take it or leave it. The end of the Matrix series fell apart. I get it. It did. But they still revolutionized the way, like, motion capturing in general and the entire world was done. Motion capturing for movies, video games, no one had ever done anything like that. And they just keep pushing forward as technology gets better and better. They just keep adapting and getting better and better. And I think that's the coolest thing, is that they're not just stuck trying to do the Matrix and stuff over and over. Arguably, this is a similar, like a movie taking place in outer space, but just from the trailer alone, you can see the universe that they're creating is insane.
Yeah.
And they're literally making a universe and taking us, I don't know when it takes place, but it has a whole new spin on how the universe was created.
Well, I think it takes place in present day, but it's just, the universe,
Yeah, it's like it's an alternate universe. It's all Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's all J.J. Abrams. That's how I look at it. But it looks really good.
Footage, Abrams.
I highly recommend to check out the trailer. We got it up on the site, tmsash.com. All these trailers are on tmsash.com. Check them out, especially for that movie. It looks awesome. But last but not least, just to harken back to a topic that was brought up pre-show by John. The idea... You found this on a website, right?
Yeah. Are you talking about the...
Ethan Hawke is Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you want me to run this real quick?
Yes, let's review.
Okay, so as everybody knows, Doctor Strange is getting his movie in 2016, and we were told earlier this year before Comic-Con by Kevin Feige, the god of Marvel these days, that we would know who Doctor Strange was in August. He did not deliver on that promise. And a couple weeks before that, we heard rumors that Joaquin Phoenix, acclaimed actor, should have won an Academy Award for Walk the Line, but that's neither here nor there, was up for the role and was spotted in his home of Connecticut at 2 different comic book stores getting Doctor Strange comic.
Okay.
Well, anyways, the rumor is now that Ethan Hawke, the guy who always looks pretentious but really isn't, is up for the role because apparently Joaquin Phoenix has gotten cold feet. I mean, which is understandable because it is kind of a commitment when you sign up for Marvel. Like, you're not just doing one movie.
Right.
Unless it's a special role. Which I have to admit I find interesting, and I say that because, one, it makes sense because his sinister director of now I draw a blank. Scott Derrickson, who also did this summer's Deliver Us from Evil, is directing Doctor Strange and is already gearing up for an England shoot, which means something will have to be announced soon.
Right.
But either way, I mean, and I don't really think there's a way anybody could comment on what we're saying, but I mean, when you really think about it, Ethan Hawke looks quite a bit like the Doctor from the comics. And I
He
mean,
does. I'm looking at his picture now, and it does kind of fit.
he's in good shape. I mean, he's 43, and he's always technically been in good shape. I don't know how athletic Doctor Strange would be.
Hey, he can gain some weight, lose some weight. I mean,
Yeah, he's not 50. I mean, he if Robert Downey Jr. can do it, I think he can.
yeah, look what Chris Pratt did. Chris Pratt lost like 65 pounds in 6 months. It's
Chris Pratt's
amazing what a
30.
seven-figure multi-movie contract with Marvel will do for you.
Yeah, just do what Chris Pratt did. Get paid millions of dollars to work out every day. Of course, anybody can look like that. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was against the idea for almost majority of the day, but then I started looking at the picture, started looking at the facts, and I mean, this has been debunked. I mean, I doubt it would happen because it was brought up and then it was debunked by Ethan Hawke
Mm-hmm.
for doing publicity for Boyhood. But just let it meddle in your head. I mean, right, Marvel, not like they haven't cast it yet or
Oh,
anything. But I mean, it would be an interesting concept to see him as the Doctor, and I mean,
um,
it would
I
definitely give
I
his
can see
career.
it. I can see it. It's. I mean, who else? If it's not Ethan Hawke, who else? Who else would you have in mind? I mean, Joaquin Phoenix
I
kind
mean,
of works
I've
there.
always I've always been on the Viggo Mortensen bandwagon, but that's just me. But I
I think.
doubt he would do it.
I mean, I still think it's possible. According to IMDb has Joaquin Phoenix doing Doctor Strange.
I mean, they haven't announced it. I mean, I don't know. And IMDb,
It
just like
does say rumor.
Wikipedia.
They have him listed as Doctor Stephen Strange, quoting parentheses rumored. So
I mean, no matter if it's Phoenix or Hawk, I'll be happy because Doctor Strange is one of my childhood favorites. You know what I mean? And they're both really great actors.
yeah, we'll see. We've got a lot of time, a lot of Comic Cons between now and then.
Yeah.
So I'm sure we'll get more. We'll get
Oh,
more
I
news
will
on
know
that.
before the year's out. I guarantee it. We'll know who it is.
Yeah, definitely. Was there anything in the box office this past weekend you went out and saw? Did you go see Denzel Washington's Taken? I mean,
It's actually ironic you say that since they released Taken 3, the trailer, the other day. Uh, no, I have not seen Taken. I mean Equalizer, but I want to. I've heard that it stood its ground against the box trolls. Um, I saw Walk Among the Tombstones the week before, which I thought was one of Liam Neeson's great movies to date. Great dark like thrillers. Uh, Gone Girl, which comes out this week, I think is going to be a really good one. It's already getting like superb reviews.
yeah, I was kind of surprised. I knew it was going to be good, but then all of a sudden New York was it New York Film Festival
I think so.
was this past week, and they were immediately throwing up Oscar nominations.
Oh yeah, they say it's Fincher's darkest film and Affleck's best performance.
Yeah, which is really cool. I mean, that's what it looked. That's what it looked like, and you knew that he could do something like that. So, the book apparently is incredible. I haven't read it. My wife's in the process of reading it. I'll just have her ad lib it to me because I don't have time to read a book.
And there was an interview that was given recently, and I think all of the ladies who watch our podcast, if there is one, would appreciate that. Apparently, Ben Affleck does apparently go full frontal in the movie.
Oh gosh,
This
something
is
to look forward to.
Yeah, I was reading an interview today, and he just felt that it was best that everyone know.
You cut out there, John.
So, huh?
You cut out there for a second.
Oh, I was just saying I was reading an interview because he's been doing press all this week, and him and Rosamund Pike were joking that apparently he has a full frontal nudity scene in the movie. So women unite, go crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good thriller. I think it's kind of this movie in my mind kind of kicks off this whole like little fall box office
Yeah.
run that we have going. I think The Equalizer was a little bit of the warm up. I haven't heard terrible things. I haven't heard spectacular things. Probably something you could go out there and see. It's probably something worth seeing this weekend if you had time. Unlike myself, I wanted to go see it just for the heck of it. I like Denzel Washington,
Well, it's
so
already been greenlit for a sequel.
yeah, it's in a good spot. So I think I agree. Next week, Gone Girl is going to clean up, and then Interstellar shortly after that will clean up.
Yeah.
We'll take off after that, but they've got a whole month to rake in.
Oh yeah.
So that's what's to look forward to this week on Friday. So go see Gone Girl. We will see Gone Girl. I think John's going to have the review up here this weekend.
I'll try to get Equalizer and Gone Girl this weekend.
Awesome. So look forward to that review. If we can get everything working, maybe we'll get a video review up. Work in progress, as always, but something we're looking forward to doing. Otherwise, you can come back and catch us next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometime in the middle of the week, whenever we can find some free time in our busy schedules. Yes, we do have day jobs to get this podcast in, but to catch all the latest news on comic books, movies, TV shows, you name it, tmstash.com is where it is all at. We will keep you up to date. Until then, we will see you next week. Keep reading the stash.